All right, so today I lost $468 on the evaluation account. Now, I want to go over a trade recap today because losing days, and especially good losing days, are the ones that you can learn from the most. Now, let's get into it. So, let's start off on NQ because I always look at NQ first. Today, I have to admit, I should have traded ES. Now, this is something I will implement. However, start off on NQ. Start off on ES first, actually. We can see that we swept all-time highs on ES, as you can see here, and we formed rejection blocks, but we don't need those today. Today we actually took a long on NQ. So, since we absolutely crapped the bed on NQ right at market open, I wanted to take a long. Also, I marked out, what the fuck, what just happened? Also, on NQ, I marked out the daily gap we had. So, new day opening gap, it's pretty much when we gap up on the day. We gapped up because of news yesterday, FOMC, but we had this gap. You can see it clear on the 4 hour now. See how we close here and then open up here? That's the gap. Now, most of the time, we want to fill those gaps. So, initially, I had a bearish bias. As you can see, I could not take a trade because right when market opened, we just went straight for the gap. So that told me that I wanted to trade more of a retracement. When this happens, when we just dump market open, I want to trade the retracement because pretty much the day's move already happened. I mean, we went crazy down today, which I didn't expect, but that day's move already happened, so I wanted to catch the retracement up. Now, how could I do this? So the way I did it, and I'm going to show the way I did it and the correct way, which mine was very close, but not perfect. So if I go on the 4 hour chart on NQ, you could see that we had this rejection block, this bearish rejection block, which is just this big ass wick after a sweep liquidity. And then you see this big ass wick, that's a rejection block. Okay. So I mark it out, I extend it. Now, as you can see, we completely ran through this rejection block, showing it as like sort of an inverse rejection block, okay? Now, this was just another confluence. This wasn't like, I'm like, okay, I don't usually trade this. I'm not crazy about it, but it's definitely there. We also swept this 4 hour low. You could see this 4 hour wick, we swept it, right? Going into the gap as well. So I'm like, okay, we have liquidity sweep. And I entered, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to enter off of here because that's not a good entry for me. But I'm going to go on the 1 minute. As you can see, we tapped the middle. So I entered on the middle with light size, stop loss here because that's the end of the rejection block. So I'm going to draw it out for you guys. I entered a long position right at the tap of the middle, right here when we tapped that middle, as you can see. Then put my stop loss there, and where do I put my take profit? I'll show you. Take profit. If you look on the 1 hour, when we're looking for retracements, we want to go to where the equilibrium is, actually 15 minute, right? So you see how we have this move up, and then we have this big leg down, and we have like, easier to see on the 1 minute, I think. Yeah, here we go. So where does the move start, right? The move starts here at the top of this 1 hour candle. This the wick of this candle, right? Because we have initial down move, a little bit of retracement up, then a huge down move, right? So we put our Fibonacci level at the top of that wick. We go back on the 1 minute because it's easier to see. And then we see the bottom of this move over here, and we put it here. So where's our take profit? It's here. Now, as you could see, I entered on NQ, and it was about to hit my take profit, right? And I was about to make, I think it was like $1,100. I trade live every day in my Discord, so go join my Discord, link in bio. It's linked in my TikTok bio. I don't think it's linked in my YouTube bio yet. But we were about to hit full take profit for a 1 to 3 risk to reward. But as you can see, we ended up reversing after getting like 2 points away from my full take profit. So this is annoying, but what would an unprofitable version of unprofitable version of me do. I would then revenge trade. You do not want to do that. That is not what I want to do. I wanted to close the charts. I'm like, okay, you know what? I got the move I wanted, but I just needed 2 points. So, you know what? I predicted the move. I'm good. Whatever. Now, also, I forgot to mention, I added more when so I went light size in here because it was kind of risky, right? But once we broke structure on the 1 minute, I added more like up here once we like had a strong, bigger structure. So I think my overall entry was like over here, somewhere over there, right? Now, this was a really good trade. How could it be better though? Let's go over to ES. All right, ES. What do we see? Same exact thing. However, ES, we're going to mark out the daily gap, which you can see better on the 4-hour time frame. So if we mark out this gap, ES is actually moving a lot higher, was actually a lot higher than NQ at the time. So ES, look, you could see on this 4-hour candle, ES did not fill this gap. NQ went below the gap, right? So that should tell me that I want to enter on ES. I could do the charting on NQ, but I want to actually enter on ES because NQ was the pair that was more down. Since I'm going long, I want to enter on the lagging pair, which is ES. So as you can see, we tapped the middle of that gap and we ended up going up. So if I just did the charting on NQ, right, and let's say when I was about to enter on NQ, instead of entering on NQ, I enter on ES, right? Let's say I enter on ES. Let's say, I don't know, over here, doesn't matter. Whenever I would have entered on Q, right, I enter on ES. We would have had so first of all, we had a nice take profit level over here. We would have a nice take profit level over here. That's first TP smashed. We would have one over here, over here at these highs. We did not get that, but what do I say when we're dealing with retracements, right? We want to have that retracement level. So this could also be a take profit. So we would have actually had a winning trade on ES if I just enter on ES. Now the risk to reward would have been better on NQ, but we would have had a winning trade on ES. So I really don't like trading ES because ES could be really slow at times, but I think I'm just going to start entering, especially when there's SMT like that. I'll enter on the lagging pair. I hope you learned something in this video. You learned the most from losses. I want to do a little account update. I'm up $1,000 on the evaluation account. Not the greatest, whatever. I'm probably down in the week a little bit, but I can't lose this $1,000 because my maximum loss limit is $50,000. So we're going to see how this plays out. Hopefully next week I could see us passing the account. But, it's been a struggle. These markets have been a struggle. But, yeah, good luck on your trading.